Hi, hello everybody. How are you? Fluid Friday. Happy Fluid Friday. Thanks for joining. Hold on one second. Wait 1 second. All right, is that working? Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, you guys, it is Fluid Friday, and you know what that means? Stay hydrated. Or loosen up and have a little drink with us. But it's not us today, it's just me. Debbie's on vacation, so hope she's having fun. We miss her. But today, I'm drinking water. What's in your cup? What's in your cup? Let us know. Let me know. But happy Fluid Friday. So every Friday we have, or most Fridays, we have a Friday Feuds poll. And I have a very simple one today. It is the theme of my shirt. So Friday Feuds poll. Do you believe in extraterrestrials or aliens? Or do you not? What do you think? Go ahead and enter it in the chat. Friday Feuds poll. Do you believe in life on other planets, extraterrestrials, life outside of Earth? Or do you think that's not the case and it's just us? Go ahead and put it in the comments. But yes, I hope everybody is having a great day. I hope you've had a great week. And let's go over the rules. So you must be 18 or older to receive a reading. We do not do any medical or legal. There's no list. So you just enter your question into the live chat and I randomly select. So there's no list, there's no priority. We do accept donations and we're greatly appreciative of that, but that doesn't guarantee you a reading. So these are free readings at the end of the day. We want fair and equal opportunity for everybody. Please like the show. Very important. Hit the thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channels. That's youtube.com/@Matty Tarot and youtube.com/@PsychicFixes. Okay, it looks like Nia is the first to answer our Friday. Here, I'm gonna hold on 1 second. Extra. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. But here we go. All right. Friday Feuds poll. Do you believe in aliens or extraterrestrials/extraterrestrials or not? I personally do. I personally do. And recently I've been like really, really into the like ancient Indian texts, like from like way back, because everybody has their every culture has their like sacred books, right? And ancient Indias are are just like fascinating to me, and they have so much information about the planet and like the amount of species on the planet, and they have information about like how far away the Earth is from the sun and what the Earth looks like from an aerial view and how many like and the age of the universe and it's all surprisingly very accurately close to like science nowadays, and then also just like every single ancient culture has some sort of story about the people that came from the sky, like I'm sure you've heard of the Anunnaki and just like the sky people. They came down and they like taught whatever. It's so prevalent, and it's I just how can you argue against that? It's just that's what convinced me. And then if you go into the ancient Indian texts and you read them, they talk about things um like it'll say it really, really like base, like in layman's terms, but they're talking about advanced things here. It's like they'll say things like I don't even know how to describe. Oh, like a weapon that could destroy worlds, and you know, um, it took people's fingernails off, and it blinded them, and it made them very sick. It's like you're talking about that's a nuclear bomb. Like it, you know what I mean? Like the Oppenheimer's famous quote was, "Now I have become destroyer of worlds," or something like that. But like, and radiation poisoning is like the fingernails coming off, the blinding light that happens at the flash of that explosion. But and that's described in the I think it's the Mahabharata. Um, that one of these entities or beings or gods, if you will, had this weapon, and is a very advanced weapon. But it's just insane how much information. If you things like in the Mahabharata, what is the others? The Ramayana, um, the Vedas, the Puranas, and I'm sure there's more. The Bhagavad Gita. I'm probably not saying that correctly, so excuse me. But fascinating pieces of work. You guys should look into them if you haven't. But that is what convinced me that not only that humans are much more of an older species than what modern science tells us, but also that there are beings outside of this realm, dimension, planet that are very advanced, and we have had interactions with them throughout history. So, like, I'm fully convinced of that. But if you're not, that's totally fine. I just want to know how you guys feel. So let's see. What is Nia says, where did it go? Nia says yes. Excuse me. Michael says aliens exist in Brooklyn. Amantha says, I believe there is. Yes, I do too. Kim, yes, I do, 100%. And then Lola says maybe. You know what? That's fine. If you're on the if you're on the maybe they do. That's an open mind, right? So we love that. We love that. But I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Thank you for joining us, or me. I'm sorry, I keep saying us. I'm just so used to that. But Debbie's not here. But go ahead and enter your questions. It's Fluid Friday. We're going to start our readings. So, happy Friday. Yes, I see all of your messages. Thank you so much. Oh, Kimmy. Kimmy said, maybe they aren't coming on tonight. No, I'm sorry. Yes, I am here. I'm here. That's so funny. I'm sorry for being late. I work with a dog rescue, and I've just been so busy, and I literally like race home to just like set up and get on here. So thank you all for your patience. But we are definitely having the show tonight. Okay, let's see. Yes, please like the show and please share it, you guys. Kim says, can you describe that advanced weapon the ancients used? You know what? I don't want to butcher it, but let me just look up exactly how it's described. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so here's what I found. In the Mahabharata, the Brahmastra, that's Brahmastra, the Brahmastra, is a weapon that is often compared to a modern day nuclear bomb. It is described as a quote unquote fiery weapon that creates a fireball, thunder flashes, and flames that devastate the land and leave it barren. When discharged, the Brahmastra can cause trees, oceans, and animals to tremble, the sky to be surrounded by flames, glaciers to melt, mountains to shatter, all life in and around the targeted area to become extinct. In the Mahabharata, astras are weapons that are invoked by chanting a mantra. The mantra is a form of telepathic communication with the provider of the weapon, which could be a god, demigod, or control unit. The Astra is then navigated and controlled from a distant location. I mean, Navigated or controlled from a distant location. It, surrounds the sky in flames, and glaciers melt, mountains shatter, and all life in the area becomes extinct. It's like, that's pretty damning evidence that. And then there's other. Let's see. Hold on one second. There's other parts of the text that say something about the fingernails. I remember reading that. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay, I don't want to like take too much time and like have to read the whole thing right now, but anyway, no, you should look into it. It's the Mahabharata that talks about it. But another interesting thing is that in the middle of, I think it's the Gobi Desert, possibly the Gobi Desert. I'm not sure which desert, but there's a desert over in like the kind of like Middle East and upper Africa, like Egyptian area, like where those two merge. I don't know the modern day location or what the country is called in the modern day location of this, but there's this place there that the sand was turned into glass, and that only happens at an extremely high temperature. And in the same place, they found bodies or like the bones or skeletons of people that they were like huddled together, and like some of them were holding each other as if they were like shielding themselves from something. So it's like, and then there's multiple bodies found this way in that area. So that, I mean, that to me sounds like or looks like the remnants of the aftermath of a nuclear weapon being used. Also, there's an extremely high amount of radiation on Mars. And Mars, they say, used to be like Earth. And there's an element that is released during a nuclear explosion that that's the only time this type of metal or element is created, and it's released during nuclear explosions or a nuclear reaction. And Mars has like 2.5%. I don't even know. It's like oh no, I'm sorry, 2.5 times as much, not percent, 2.5 times as much of this element than Earth does. So that's, either there's like nuclear reactions and explosions happening on Mars just by themselves, which that can happen. It's not impossible. Very rare though. And either that or, there was some sort of civilization there before that it detonated an extreme amount of nuclear weapons on the planet. Because to have 2.5 times as much as Earth does, and we do nuclear tests all the time, that's just insane. That's an insane amount. And this is all science. You can look this up. I'm not like, this is not like hearsay. This is proven science. So they just don't. Modern science won't give the explanation that like, oh, it means there's a civilization. They won't say all that, But I mean, what else could it be? I don't know. I'm open minded. I'm open to being wrong as well. So I'm not saying that for a fact, but that's what I think it is. But anyway. Okay, we're going off on tangents now. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, I see somebody, Baloy, or I hope I'm saying that right, Baloy Montejo Angie. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Let's see. Nia. Thank you for playing What's in Your Cup, Nia. You are my first choice for a reading. General reading for Nia, and she's having a Mexican pop. I love that you said pop. Like, because I'm from I'm from Indiana. Like my family's from Indiana, and that's like a Midwest thing. They call it a pop. So I love that you said that. My grandma would be like, just grab a pop, having a pop. Or in Indiana, they say warsher, the warsh rag. Okay, let's see. Kim Lenzer says, I love to learn about all the ancient texts and civilizations. Me too. It's fascinating. I love it. I love it so much. It's just, I think there's so much information. It's just, I could go down a rabbit hole all day long about that. Amantha says, I'm from Kansas, live in Texas. I still say pop. I love it. Good. Sometimes people probably don't know what you're talking about, huh? They're like, huh? But I mean, pretty much everybody knows what it is. It's just they don't say it. But, ooh. Alrighty, Nia. Nia, you got the Eight of Materials, which is the Eight of Pentacles in the original deck. The Muse of Voices, or the King of Swords. Okay. You've got the Five of Voices, Five of Swords, and the Four of Inspiration, which is the Four of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, what you don't see coming, you've got the Muse of Inspiration, the King of Wands. Okay, I'm getting here right now that you are, so there's some like new knowledge that you've acquired, and you really feel like this is useful information that you're able to add to your tool belt, or whatever you want to call it, your database, your data bank, whatever. That has real world application that you, or either, I'm sorry, either that, or you've had to recall on experiences with and use that knowledge in a real world application very recently, and you maybe didn't recognize this, but you need to give yourself, I'm getting you need to pat yourself on the back for a job well done, and give yourself the recognition that you, because the reason is because oftentimes, Nia, you may talk down to yourself, or you may give yourself a, you limit yourself a bit, and you might not recognize all of your achievements, and you have many. And so you're being asked to take a moment, pause, and look and see that the clarity and the clear-headed, clear-minded, clear-headed um moments that you've been feeling as of just very recently, are due to this knowledge you've acquired and that you've applied and in your life, in a in a, in a moment where it was necessary, and that's a great accomplishment, and that is something that, maybe it was something having to do with, maybe it had to do with something you have doubted yourself about in the past, and you took the knowledge you attained, and you put it to work, and it worked out for you. But either way, this this might be, so I don't know what this energy exactly is, but this is something about, like, so that happened for you, right? And that's great for you. But this energy might be throwing someone else off, and maybe they are saying something about it. They could possibly be not be vocal about it, but you feel the energy. And there's kind of a conflict that is brewing between you and another. And this is in regard to some sort of resentment that they have. But what it has to do with really is, I don't know if this is exactly going to pinpoint what it is. I'm trying to find the words, but have you ever had, like, have you ever had somebody in your life where it's like they don't want to see you they don't want to see you like win, and they don't want to see you grow, and they don't want to see you like do better. And like when you do, they're like low key like, well, why would you do that? Or like, or what? And it's really what they're doing is projecting, and um, they're kind of like a silent hater, in a way. I don't know if that's really what is happening here, but there's some sort of person in your, and maybe they're not immediately close to you. Maybe it's just somebody that you have like your acquaintances with in some way, um, or that you loosely know through others. But the message I'm getting here is just be careful who you broadcast your successes to, or be careful, not your successes. That's the wrong word. Be careful who you broadcast your plans to and your goals, because think of it like this. You know, if energy has momentum and you get some exciting news, but nothing's really gained momentum yet, right? It's brand new. And so you're excited about it. You want to say something to somebody. And maybe that person, or maybe a few people, they don't, and they may not even be aware of this, but maybe they are not, maybe they don't have the most positive outlook on life, or on that specific path for you, or on the goal. And it's not necessarily saying that they are a hater, or that they're, you know, conniving and they're like, don't want to see you succeed, but you could be sharing this excitement, and then somebody's own negative perception and own doubt about whether it has to do with, maybe they are a hater and they don't think you're able to do that, and they think your capabilities are less, or maybe it's more rooted in like a jealousy thing. Maybe they're like, well, why her and not me? Whatever it is, that type of energy is then dumped onto this situation, this, I'm sorry, the goal, the dream, the idea, before the momentum ever gets to even start, you know, building. And that can really, I mean, I've seen it happen many times. This is why I don't, when something exciting happens for me, I don't share it immediately. There's maybe like a couple choice people, because I know those people like the back of my hand. Like they I know that they have my best interest at heart. I know they're going to be just as excited. I know they're going to want me to succeed, and you know, whatever. But there's a lot of people that don't. And again, it's not necessarily saying they're bad people, or that they're not your friend, or they hate you. It's just that their own internal dialogue, or internal programming, or the way they view the world, the lens they perceive things through, doesn't allow them to see that opportunity, that excitement, that, you know, in the same way, that in the light that you see it through. So I'm saying all this to say, be careful who you share your plans with before you have the momentum going. Like if you're already on your way and you're taking the steps and there's this momentum building, okay, then you can share. Then you can share. That's fine. But a lot of times these things get halted, stopped, or you know, there's some sort of redirect because of some sort of doubt that was casted onto it prematurely. That's how I feel, at least. So that's basically a summary of the energy I'm getting here. There's something going well for you. You're applying yourself, and there's somebody that is just kind of maybe silently hating on that a little bit. um, it might even be someone in your family. I'm getting something about family here. I'm so sorry to hear that. You need to keep your eyes on the big picture, though. Don't let others throw you off. Don't let others take you out of your power. Your ability to, me and my husband were just talking about this literally like last night. Your ability to remain calm and collected in the face of somebody else's reactive responses, or somebody else's disapproval, or somebody else's disrespect, even. Your ability to literally not react to that, maintain your composure, and articulate yourself is your power. And it is very powerful. So keep that in mind. Don't let others, because everyone's projecting their own perspective onto the world. The world's not happening to us, it is happening through us. So when someone's poor behavior or the things, whatever they're saying or doing, or the way they're acting, don't let other people's behavior take you out of your element and make you throw you off, because that's about them. It's not about you. And as much as it might seem personal, it's really not, because that's their perspective, and you can't control that. All you can do is articulate yourself, communicate, and stand in your truth. And so that is a message I'm heavily getting for you at this time. Um, you're taking more of a leadership role, and I love that. It's it or if you're not physically doing that yet, then if you're not like literally doing that yet, then it could be that you're starting to have more ideas of that, and want to um, implement that sort of um, how do I say, that sort of authority in your life, is leader taking a more of a leadership role or leadership stance. Um, but yeah, that's really good. This is, yeah. So there's the fear here is, it stems from, so everything's like rooted in love or rooted in fear, right? So this person, the way they're acting or behaving, or again, if it's silent, you may not even know about this, but like you might feel it though. You might feel like something's a little off, something's a little weird, and it might, and I'm heavily, strongly believing it's somebody in your family, but it stems from a fear. So that it's a fear that drives it. Again, it may, there's no need to take it personal. It has to do with this person's fear. They may not even understand it. I love this information. It says, I read one time, or I learned this one time. It's that the majority of people, like the large majority of people, overwhelming majority of the population, is they're not malicious. They're not bad people. They don't want to harm people. They want to just do their thing, stay out of people's way. They want to have, a fulfilling life, and they don't like, they want others to as well. Most people are like that. But what it is, when people, but everyone will eventually, after knowing someone for a while, they will hurt you in some way. Some people hurt people, right? um Conflict is inevitable, but these things that people do that hurt our feelings or make us feel um like we've been maybe betrayed, or maybe like somebody's done us wrong in some way, those things are done most of the time out of ignorance, not malice. So most people are just, they're good people. They're not like malicious people that are trying to hurt us and like tear us down, but they're just navigating their own emotional world, and there's some sort of level of ignorance, whether it's that they don't know your side, they don't have your experiences, they don't have the experience to make them go, oh, okay, I can understand this. Whatever it is, most of that behavior and the things that hurt us are done by others out of ignorance. So that little bit of information really helped me actually stop taking things personal. And I'm not going to say I don't take anything I don't, I never take anything personal, because I do. I'm human, I still do. But it's the reminder that I give myself of, like, okay, like, there's some sort of misunderstanding here. There's some sort of bit of information that's missing that this person doesn't have, that if they did, thing, it would shift, it would be different. Or that person, it's about them, it's not about me, and I need to not take it personal. It's a great reminder. So try not to take it personal, is all I'm saying, because it truly isn't personal. Mystery came out here. Yeah, it sounds like you don't know the who I'm talking about. Maybe you do, but you have an idea. How funny. You have an idea, ideation. They're acting out of fear. It's the mystery card is partly fear of they're talking about fear of the unknown, and the other part of it is that you're not too sure who I'm referring to, but you have an idea. You have an idea. Okay. I'm going to pull a crystal card to close your reading. I hope this resonated. Kimmy, no, Debbie is not here tonight. Debbie is at a wedding. Well, I don't know if the wedding's today. I don't know if the wedding was today, but she's out of the state. Okay, let's see. Carnelian. Okay, it says position the stone near any door in your home and it will invoke protection. As well as inviting positive energy into your space. Carnelian is known to stimulate your metabolism and promote healing. This powerful healing power can also cleanse other stones. So you pretty much you're being asked to protect yourself, and whether you do that through, getting a bunch of carnelian or simply by not taking things personal and understanding that everyone's on their own journey, and people are all figuring it out, and most things are done out of ignorance, not malice. All these little things can help you say, you know what, that is beneath me. I'm not going to react to it. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm just going to stand in my truth. But you're doing great. You're on the right path, and you got to just keep working toward your goals, because you are definitely going to get there. So I hope that helped, and I hope it resonated, and that's all I have for you this evening. Alrighty. Thank you for joining us, everybody. It's Fluid Friday. I saw somebody say in the comments, hoping I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a little better. I'm still a little sick, but it's pretty much gone. But I'm feeling a little better. Thank you. Let's see. All right. I have chosen Amantha. Amantha, will my ex-husband ever stop trying to get me back? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. How annoying. Right? It's like, oh my gosh, stop. Also, like, God bless him. That's gotta be hard. On a like on a human level, it's like, okay, clearly he's hurt over something, and but I support you supporting your mental health and your clarity and your truth. And if that's not with him, then it is what it is. Okay, but let's see. Will my ex-husband ever stop trying to get me back? Oh. Two of Swords came out. The Four of Pentacles. It's looking like no. It's looking like no. Eight of Cups. Yeah, no. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna stop. You're always gonna. It's gonna be one of those people. Let's say, okay, let's be realistic. Maybe eventually, but like no time in the near future. And it's like it's gonna be like one of those people that like they pop up, you hear from them, and it's like okay, and then you have to you like either don't respond, or you kind of like send them a message like, hey, stop, like this is too much, like why why do you continue to do that? Quit it. Stop contacting me. Like just something short and simple. Like, please stop contacting me. Like, I don't want, you know what I mean? Um, and then they pop up a few years later or something and say something. And it's like, oh my gosh. So it looks like that's like kind of how this is going to go. The Two of Swords came out here. That's stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's stagnation. And that is a checkmate, or I'm sorry, a stalemate. So there's, it pretty much is saying it's stuck like this and not moving. The Four of Pentacles came out, and that is like that's the card of like hoarding resources. So, and let me explain it in this way, actually. So the way I'm reading this card for your situation is that this person believes that they're owed something still from you. Like they feel entitled to an explanation, a response, or something, a relationship. There's some sort of, they feel like they are, yeah, they still have stake in this, in the relationship you two shared, and while you have, completely withdrawn from that. And I'm having a feeling you walked away, Amantha. You chose to leave or end it. And that could be very much the driving force of it, is that this person feels like they feel entitled to something, and they are stuck in this energy because the way they saw things playing out didn't happen, and then you walked away, and so it left them feeling like, almost in a way, like, well, you can't do that to me. It's like, you can't, that so they're unable to come to terms with the reality of it. So because they just feel like that's just totally incomprehensible that could have happened. So sounds like a bit of an entitled person. Let's see what else comes out here. Yeah. Ooh, wow. See, I don't keep my cards in reverse. I pull cards, but when they come out in reverse, I sometimes feel like that is, needing to be that way. So the Emperor came out in reverse here with the Tower in upright. So yeah, this was a tumultuous relationship. This person is going to have, so the Emperor in upright, when it's upright, it means like authority, and like but in a good way. It's like stability, right? And being able to kind of, they have authority in a way that they run things, they like, but not in a controlling way. The Emperor in reverse means the exact opposite. It's like this person is seeking control, and they're trying to manipulate, and they like have a lack of stability, because they lack the ability to remain consistent and be um they're consistent actually in all the bad ways, in all the ways no one wants them to be consistent, and they consistently do those things. It's like, it's like, oh gosh. So, and then the Tower moment, it's like this whether you walked away or, okay, I see your message. You said yes, you did. Yeah, so you walked away after 25 years. Wow. Wow. Well, you obviously felt like you needed to. So, and it looks like you did, because this person, I don't think this person wasn't healthy for you. They're really going through it though. They're gonna face the Tower moment, and I'm sure you all know what that is. But they need to face that. He has to face that, because the what was in his life before is no longer there, and so he's trying to hold up all the pieces that are crumbling, and as long as he does that, it's going to hurt, 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 hurt. And he needs to find acceptance, and he needs to allow the Tower to fall, because then something better comes in for him. It's like, everybody has their own path, right? You guys, for whatever reason, grew apart. I don't think it was, I'm getting a message that it wasn't really growing apart. It was that you had every right to like leave. It was this person was not a good partner. Was not what a partner should be to you. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Empower, self cleanse. They tore you down a lot. They tore you down a lot, disrespected you, thought less of you. So that's why he left. That probably along with many other things. Yeah, this person's just seeking control. They're probably not going to stop. That you got to take the necessary protections. Obviously that to keep yourself safe. And so I don't know how dangerous this person is, if at all. But I would just literally don't interact with them, block them on anything. If you receive a message from a number, unless you have children and there's something, some sort of communication is necessary. So, for example, my sister, she's not, she doesn't interact with one of her children's fathers, and so they simply she allows contact over email only. And as long as he emails, then and it has to be about their child. There's no additional, like, no, I'm not answering any of your other questions. I'm not entertaining anything unless it has to do with the time, the place, the date, or something about you know our child, and that's it, right? And so, like, that's all that is. So if you have a situation like that where you have children with this person and you have to maintain some sort of contact, then okay, obviously do that, but minimize it. And just, if this person tries to hit you, contact you from a different number, block it. No questions, no entertaining it, no response. Block it. Block social medias, block phone numbers, um, and just maintain the least amount of contact possible. And I mean, if they start showing up, call the police on them. Like, get trespass them from your property, whatever it is. You don't just, but it doesn't look like this person lets up for a while. um, and I'm so sorry. That's so, it's just like, what a pain in your ass, right? You've built a lot of strength for yourself through these challenges, though. So that's really a beautiful thing. And you part of your decision to leave was because you realized, because this person was, talking down to you, you realized in order to love yourself and be sweet, you want to treat yourself better, so you're going to do what's right for you, and depart, or leave that situation. So let's see. And space, yeah, space and reflection. This person, through space, I'm sorry, with space comes reflection, and with that reflection comes, in this person's case, deflection. So they have this reflection, they see some things, they don't like the uncomfortable feelings they're feeling, and then they start to deflect, and they start to put it on others, and they start to blame and point fingers, and then they want to regain that control, and so they start to do their antics, right? But to answer your question, um, it's gonna be a while before they give up. But do what you need to do. Okay, we're gonna close the reading out with amethyst. Is your crystal card here, amethyst? Also known as the guardian stone. Ooh. It is a very powerful protector. Any kind of negative energy directed toward you is blocked by this ancient stone. Used when meditating, amethyst brings calmness to the mind and helps with decision making. So maybe get some amethyst. Hmm. Or, you know what? I like to do, I've sometimes do an egg cleanse. Me and Debbie and I were talking about that a while back. I don't know if you were there for that show, but an egg cleanse. Look it up. Do an egg cleanse. Take all that negative energy that someone's putting on you, and visualize it leaving your body, going into this egg, and then you whisper a little, like, mantra to the egg. You're like, da 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 da, whatever it may be. And then you crack it into a glass of water, and you can see the patterns it makes, and there's, like, online, you can look it up and see what the different patterns mean. But then at the end, that's my favorite part, you take the water glass with the egg in it, and you go to the toilet, and you dump it in the toilet, and you say, return all this energy to sender. return all this energy to the original sender, and you pour it in and you flush it. And I just kind of love that, because it's like, why, people will try and put things on you. It's like when you're, especially when they're deflecting and when they're trying to seek control, it's like, why are you putting all that negative energy on me? Why? Like, I don't want to keep that out of my space, right? It's like, that's yours. Here, take it back. So I don't know, look up egg cleanse. It might be fun. I enjoy it. But that's all I have for you this evening. I hope it helps. All right. Okay. Give me a moment. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. I really appreciate it. It's just me today. Normally it's me and Zebby. And yeah, she's just not in this week. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for your patience. Obviously, we can't do as many readings because it's just one of us, but I greatly appreciate all the support. All right. Where I had somebody picked, I just need to find it again. Where is it? It started with please. Please, may I get a... Oh, here. I'm so sorry. I'm still a little sick. I apologize. Okay. Please may I get a reading to tonight. Love or general. Oh, excuse me. All right. The chosen one said, cloves, lemongrass, lemon juice, water, and honey will get rid of almost anything. Blend it all up, strain it, and boil it. Add the honey at the end. Yes, it will. Lemon juice is amazing, and honey is amazing too. Cloves, I've never really used that much, but I like turmeric. I like lemon juice. I like apple cider vinegar and honey. You know what? Actually, this is a really funny story. One time I was really sick, and my mom, she was like, she's from, like I said, we're from Indiana, and she's like, oh, you just need a hot toddy, and I was like, a what? And she's like, I never heard of that, right? But it's like a drink, and she's like, a hot toddy, and she's like, here, and she's like, here's so you make a hot toddy by you black tea, and then whiskey, um, a lot of whiskey, and then honey and lemon. And so you put the black tea with the whiskey, and then you put some lemon juice in it, and then you take a big spoonful of honey, and you drop it. Well, you heat it up, so it's like hot, and then you take a big spoonful of honey and drop it in it, and then you go shoot that back. And I'll tell you, I had about 4 hot toddies, and I was not sick the next day, and, and I thought it was hilarious, because I was like, she was like, you just need a few hot toddies, and so it's like, yes, actually, maybe I did. And she says that her grandfather swore by them, and yeah, so it's like something about all of that together, it like burns it out of you. So yeah, hot toddy maybe. But the cloves, lemongrass, lemon juice, water, honey, love it. Love all that. A lot of water is very important. Okay, Lola, please may I get a reading too tonight? Love or general reading, please. Let's see. Okay. The Four of Voices, which is the Four of Swords. Michael says, I love hot toddy. They're good. It's really good, actually. The Four of Voices, or the Four of Swords, the Queen of Emotions, which is the Queen of Cups. What else? What else? What else for Lola? The Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. And Amantha says they work every time. They do. I swear I wasn't sick the next day. It was crazy. I was like, I didn't. First of all, I didn't believe it was going to work at all. I was like, you're trying to get me drunk, and okay, I'm down. And then, and then I was not sick in the morning. I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing actually. So, hot toddies for the win. Okay, Lola, Four of Voices, Four of, which is the Four of Swords, the Queen of Emotions, Queen of Cups, the Ace of Inspiration, Ace of Wands, the Page of Materials, Page of Pentacles, the Page of Inspiration, the Page of Wands, and the Star. So, what does all that mean, right? I feel like you're still healing. There was a situation in the past that you had with somebody that took a bit of a toll on you. You're still working to heal from that. And you're actually doing really well. And you are starting to, or you've been maybe for a while now. Actually, I don't know how long, but you found the path that you needed to to gain the understanding. You may not fully understand why it happened, and you may be like, okay, like I would have rather it not happened, but you grew from it, and that's what's important. Um, and you have this like idea that like, okay, you want to meet someone that you have this like passionate like spark with, and like it hits off, and it just become like, how do I say, you kind of have I'll say, for lack of a better explanation, it's like you have this like almost like kind of like a fairy tale idea of love in your mind about how it should work and how you want it to work, and I don't blame you, because it's like that was beat into all of our heads like from very young age, right? Is like this, oh, you meet the person and it's like you gain all these achievements, and then finally, and you made it or whatever, you've reached where you're supposed to, or you've achieved something when you finally meet the person and it works and it fall in love and you guys have the blah 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 blah, right? But it doesn't always happen that way, and that's totally Hollywood. That's Disney, right? That's fairy tale movie. Like, it doesn't. This is real life. It doesn't always happen that way. It's actually very damaging. It's a very damaging idea, because it leaves people feeling so discouraged when it doesn't play out that way. Relationships are hard. You may and there's not always a spark. There's not always a spark when you meet somebody. It's like it doesn't always it's not always this big shebang where it's like, oh, I know this person is going to be the one. It's like sometimes things gradually build over time. Sometimes relationships transform and change. Sometimes you get to know somebody in a way where they may not be someone you first saw that way, and then now you're starting to like, okay, like love is not um how do I say, love is complex. It's not so surface of like, oh, I like this because have you here? I'll give you an example. Have you ever liked somebody and you thought you were attracted to them, right? You were attracted to them, but when you got to know them more and realized like maybe they have poor behavior qualities, or like their personality is just kind of drab, or you guys just aren't clicking. It's like, or this person, or they just are just be, maybe they're just like an asshole. Like you you liked them in the beginning, but then you totally see them differently now, and you're not attracted to them anymore. It's like because of whatever reason. It's like, so there's so much more to it than just like, oh, I like this person, and like we like the same things, and you don't even have to like the same things as your partner, right? people who are totally different get in relationships, and it works. And it's just about it's about communication, really. It's about communication, it's about acceptance, it's about respect, and it's about trust. And two people that want to be together and have a willingness to do to know work through those things, they will be successful. Now, I will say this: the miracle in life isn't like, oh, we meet the fairy tale person and then happily ever after, right? No, the miracle in life is that like life is freaking hard, and if you meet somebody that's like willing to like go through that hardship with you and like stick it out, and they don't leave, is like that's the miracle, right? It's like, because that's just not easy. And a lot of times people think like, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea, you know? Yeah, but they're all still fish. They're like every one of them is fish. So, fish. So, and I say what I mean by that is like people are people are people are people, and the issues you face in a relationship are not. We point. We feel inclined to point at the other person and say it's them, it's them, it's them. And sometimes it is in cases of like abuse and like people taking advantage of others and like, um, just like people who are just not stand up quality people. They sometimes it is them, but majority of the time, if you've ever heard the statement saying it takes two to tango, relationships are not one-sided. They are built with two parties, and there are two people involved and creating something together, and what is created is the relationship and the dynamic within the relationship. So it's not just one person. There's whether it's implicit or explicit, there's involvement on both ends. And I'm saying all that to say, people sometimes they'll hit a wall and they'll go, "Ugh, there's plenty of fish in the sea." Like I don't need to change for this person or to waste my time on this, and da, da, da. And those people are going to probably end up not in a successful relationship, and because they don't know how to compromise, they're not willing to work through the challenges because they're just like, "Oh, well, this is too hard, and I'm going to go." It's like, okay, but when you get with that next person, you're going to run into that very same wall because your problems are your problems. They're not other people's problems. And so you're going to find just with many different faces, you're going to run into the same walls and the same problems because your problems follow you around in life. And until you get it and see like, oh, this keeps happening. I seem to have this issue with everyone. Why does it always come to this? Okay. Well, those are big indicators that it's you're playing a bigger part than you think in it. And again, I'm not talking about you specifically right now. I am just saying in general. So it's good to examine those things in life, right? But I'm get back to my point of like, so this fairy tale idea that you have, it's like probably should ground your expectations a little more in reality, because it's only going to end up hurting you if you think that that Disney Channel movie, thing is gonna happen. Because here's the thing, like it's like the thing. It's the saying. What came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Okay, well, let's replace that. The chicken and the egg. Well, what comes first, self-love or relational love? And the answer, I believe, is that, well, they are both necessary and need to happen simultaneously, in order for both of them to develop. You cannot learn how to have a successful relationship without having a relationship, right? So, and then people they say, well, when you don't have a successful relationship and like, oh, or you don't want to be single, people will say, oh, you love yourself more. It's like, okay, well, how do you learn to love yourself in complete isolation and no human interaction and no relational interactions? because we learn who we are through others, right? We have a bias about ourselves, so we're not going to learn exactly who we are and every part about us by just listening to ourselves all the time. So be careful with the difference between self-love and self-reliance, um because we need others, and we need to hear back from others in order to fully understand ourselves. And so what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, self-love or relational love? Well, they're both needed. So I'm saying all this to say you have to have relational experiences that aren't successful, or not, I don't want to say not successful, but that don't have longevity and don't work out, in order to get to the one that does. And just because you want a relationship doesn't mean you need to love yourself more and you don't love yourself. Like, it's a matter of understanding people are probably going to hurt you. You can't protect yourself from that. And what I see in your love life is that if you if you hold on to the ideas you have right now, you're going to end up feeling burnt out, and you're going to end up feeling bitter because of an expectation you went in with. But you need to change that expectation and understand that you know people are going to hurt you, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. But what you can do is learn how to trust yourself and trust your ability to overcome those things, and trust your ability to walk away when necessary, to remove your energy when necessary, to stand on your boundaries, to communicate how you feel, to stand in your truth. And when you learn those skills and acquire and apply those things, that's when you will find, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to magically happen, but trial and error along with those skills, that's when you find the person you're going to be compatible with and have longevity with. And it's still going to be hard after that. It's still not easy. So just understand that it's not, these things are necessary, and people, at the end of the day, people are people, and we are all exponentially difficult to deal with. How many times have you been mad at someone that you completely love, but you don't want to hear their freaking voice? You just like, leave me alone. Like, but you love them, you know? And so having an understanding that, we're all human, okay? And we're all, we need to have a little more grace for each other. I know this is kind of vague and kind of out there, but that's the message I'm getting for you, is that basically, let me sum it up in this way. In layman's terms, you need to change your expectation, because I see your love life being something that really, really harms you and leaves you feeling bitter and jaded if you don't change this expectation, and you start to experience and gain and extract the wisdom and the value from those experiences, even if they are unpleasant ones, because that is what is going to lead you ultimately to a fulfilling relationship. And the star came out here, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You do find that person. I don't know how many relations. I mean, it could be your first it could be the next one you get, right? It could be 3 after, it could be 1 after, who knows? I don't know that, but you do find that person. So you got to keep going, and you got to learn how to extract the lesson, the wisdom, and grow from it, because that's how you get there. I'm going to close out your reading with a crystal card. You got Angelite. Angelite. Oh, I love the name. It's like Angel Light. I love it. Anyway, oh gosh, so on point. Excuse me. Acceptance of situations that can't be changed is extremely difficult. It may be a death or a change in a relationship. Angelite, when used with meditation, helps connect to the true meaning of acceptance. All things happen for a reason. Only the universe knows why. So essentially, it's like what I was saying. It's like, and I just didn't use that word, but that's a great way to put it, is learning to accept. A lot of times we we live we see someone's potential, and we don't accept that they're not good match for us, and we try to date their potential, and then we end up in this like very terrible toxic situation that leaves us, you know, depleted. But acceptance, like when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. When someone tells you, you know, they don't want a relationship, or they believe them. When somebody the best way I can put it is, one day my friend said, like, you wouldn't, if somebody was stealing from you and you're like, okay, this person's a thief, you wouldn't like leave your bag out like next to them and like try and like bank on, if you had like money, a bunch of money, right? Like try and bank on like, oh, their potential to not steal is like, I'm gonna trust that their potential to not steal. And it's like, leave my bag right here. No, you would never do. No one would ever do that. So the the fact that we take the very same concept and in relationships just completely throw caution to the wind sometimes is like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. When you see a pattern and you don't see any effort, I always say, is the needle moving? People mess up, they make mistakes. Is the needle moving? Are they making an effort? Are they trying? Can you see that? Or are they just are they giving reasons or excuses? A reason provides a solution and the problem goes away. But an excuse allows the problem to persist. And then it also morphs. So like there's always a new excuse and the problem remains. So if you find yourself in a pattern and you're trying to give somebody a chance and you see the problem remaining and there's always a different reason, those are excuses. That person's not going to change. It's never going to, cut it by like, and that's a boundary, right? So anyway, like I said, I know this is kind of all over the place and vague, but I really hope it helped. That's the message that came out for you. And thank you so much. That's all I have for you this evening. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, it's just me today, like I said, but Debbie and I are usually here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We greatly appreciate all your support. I hope everyone has a lovely evening and a safe weekend. If I didn't get to this evening, I greatly apologize. And it's just me over here. But come back on Monday. Say, I tried to get a reading on Friday and wasn't able to. And we do try and cater to those people. Okay, so thank you again so much. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. All right, bye.